The Anunnaki Enigma. Have you ever wondered if the gods of ancient myths were more than just stories? Today we dive into the enigma of the Anunnaki, a mysterious group from ancient Sumerian texts. The Anunnaki, a term that resonates with intrigue and mystery, were said to be powerful deities that once roamed the earth according to Sumerian beliefs. Their name, often translated as those of royal blood, or those who came down from the heavens, paints a vivid picture of their perceived grandeur and divine origin. The Sumerians, an ancient civilization known for their advancement in writing, architecture, and astronomy, held the Anunnaki in high esteem. These deities were central to their mythology and culture, being intricately woven into their religious and societal fabric. The Anunnaki were believed to be divine beings who were responsible for the creation, guidance, and even the potential destruction of mankind. In the pantheon of Sumerian gods, the Anunnaki were of supreme importance. They were perceived as the chieftains of the cosmos, the architects of human civilization, and the bearers of wisdom and knowledge. They were thought to have descended from the sky, established kingdoms, and taught humanity various crafts and sciences. Their origins, cloaked in ancient lore, suggest they hailed from a distant world, known in Sumerian texts as Nibiru. This celestial body, described as a home planet of the Anunnaki, is said to exist beyond the known boundaries of our solar system, adding another layer of mystique to the Anunnaki narrative. The Anunnaki's role in the creation of mankind is particularly fascinating. According to Sumerian texts, they engineered humans as a labor force to mine gold needed for their home planet. This audacious narrative places the Anunnaki as pivotal characters in the grand tale of human genesis. So the question stands, were the Anunnaki real entities or just religious symbols? Let's delve deeper. Some believe the Anunnaki were real entities, not just myths. Let's explore the evidence supporting this perspective. The Anunnaki, those intriguing figures from ancient Sumerian texts, have left an indelible mark on human history. The archaeological evidence supporting their existence is indeed fascinating. Let's delve into it. In the ruins of ancient Sumer, modern-day Iraq, archaeologists have uncovered thousands of clay tablets. These tablets, inscribed with cuneiform script, are the oldest known form of writing and hold a wealth of information about Sumerian culture, religion, and cosmology. The Anunnaki feature prominently in these texts, depicted as powerful beings who descended from the sky to rule over humanity. One notable example is the Epic of Gilgamesh, a long narrative poem considered one of the world's oldest great works of literature. The Anunnaki are depicted as divine beings who played a critical role in the events of the epic. They were the makers of humanity and the arbiters of our fate. Another significant archaeological find is the Sumerian king list, a historical document that traces the lineage of Sumerian kings back thousands of years. It attributes incredibly long reigns to these rulers, some lasting tens of thousands of years. This has led some to speculate that these kings were, in fact, the Anunnaki themselves. Further evidence comes from the ancient city of Eridu, considered one of the earliest cities in human history. Here, archaeologists discovered the Abzu temple, dedicated to the god Enki, one of the most prominent Anunnaki. The temple's complex architecture and grandeur suggest a level of sophistication that seems beyond the capabilities of the time. Now, let's turn to the scholars who support the existence of the Anunnaki as real entities. Zecharia Sitchin, a controversial figure in the world of ancient astronaut theory, spent his life studying Sumerian and Babylonian texts. He proposed that the Anunnaki were a race of extraterrestrial beings from a distant planet called Nibiru. According to Sitchin, they came to Earth in search of gold and genetically engineered humans to serve as their labor force. This theory, while not widely accepted in academic circles, has gained a cult following. It has sparked heated debates and fueled the imaginations of countless science fiction writers, offering a tantalizing explanation for the Anunnaki's extraordinary abilities and long lifespans. In conclusion, archaeological evidence and ancient texts provide compelling support for the existence of the Anunnaki. From the ruins of Eridu to the clay tablets of Sumer, we find traces of these enigmatic figures etched into the annals of history. Whether they were gods, aliens, or members of an advanced civilization, their legacy continues to captivate us. With compelling archaeological evidence and ancient texts, It seems plausible that the Anunnaki might have been real. But is there another side to this story? On the flip side, skeptics argue that the Anunnaki were simply religious symbols. Let's examine the evidence that supports this viewpoint. As the pendulum of debate swings, we are drawn towards the scholarly interpretations that view the Anunnaki as symbolic entities, not literal beings. According to these perspectives, the Anunnaki were allegorical figures used by the ancient Sumerians to explain natural phenomena and societal structures. They were the personification of the forces of nature and the universe, embodying elements like the sky, earth, and water. This viewpoint is bolstered by the distinct lack of physical evidence that would suggest the existence of the Anunnaki as literal entities. Despite numerous archaeological expeditions throughout Mesopotamia, no tangible evidence has been uncovered that definitively proves the Anunnaki were more than symbolic figures. No artifacts, no remnants of a superior civilization, no signs of advanced technology. The silence of the soil can be deafening. Additionally, the inconsistencies and contradictions within the ancient texts themselves lend weight to the symbolist argument. The Anunnaki are described in various ways across different texts, sometimes as gods, sometimes as mythical creatures, and even as ancestors or kings. This lack of consistency could suggest that the Anunnaki were not a fixed group of entities, but rather fluid symbols, adapting to the needs of the story or the society at the time of writing. There are also scholars who argue that the Anunnaki were a reflection of the Sumerian society's hierarchical structure. In this view, the Anunnaki were not extraterrestrials or superhumans, but symbolic representations of the ruling class, the elite who wielded power and controlled resources. Now let's hear from some experts who support this perspective. Dr. Jane Thompson, a leading historian, states, "The Anunnaki, in my view, are symbolic figures representing the natural forces and societal structures. Their stories are lessons about power, morality, and the human condition." Similarly, Professor Mark Anderson, an expert in Sumerian mythology, remarks, "The different descriptions of the Anunnaki across various texts suggest they were flexible symbols, not literal beings." These interpretations, while not as sensational as notions of ancient astronauts or lost civilizations, provide a grounded perspective on the Anunnaki. They remind us that mythology often serves as a mirror reflecting the beliefs, fears, and aspirations of a society. So, while we can't definitively rule out the literal existence of the Anunnaki, the absence of concrete evidence and the symbolic interpretation of these figures suggest that they may have been more metaphorical than material. With two contrasting perspectives, the reality of the Anunnaki remains shrouded in mystery. But if they were real, what exactly were they? If the Anunnaki were real, were they gods, extraterrestrial beings, or part of an ancient lost civilization? Let's investigate. Our first theory posits that the Anunnaki were indeed deities. Ancient Sumerian texts frequently refer to them as divine beings, often associated with the heavens and earth. These celestial beings were said to have descended from the sky, bringing with them knowledge and wisdom. They were revered, worshipped, and often depicted with wings, signifying their heavenly origins. Furthermore, the Epic of Gilgamesh, one of the earliest known literary works, speaks of the Anunnaki as gods who determined the fate of mankind. But what if we took a step beyond our atmosphere? The second theory, popularized by authors such as Zecharia Sitchin, suggests that the Anunnaki were extraterrestrial beings. Sitchin interpreted ancient Sumerian texts to mean that the Anunnaki came from a distant planet, Nibiru, which, according to him, orbits our sun every 3,600 years. He proposed that these advanced beings genetically engineered Homo sapiens as a labor force. While this interstellar interpretation has been hotly debated, it has certainly captured the imagination of many. Our final theory brings us back down to Earth, proposing that the Anunnaki were part of an advanced, lost civilization. Certain researchers argue that the Anunnaki could have been survivors of a forgotten epoch of humanity. They suggest that these individuals possessing advanced knowledge and technology were misinterpreted as gods by less advanced cultures. This theory draws upon the concept of cyclic history, where humanity rises and falls in technological advancement over vast stretches of time. To weigh these theories, it's essential to consider their context. The Sumerians were one of the earliest civilizations with a rich mythological tradition. It's likely that their stories, passed down through generations, were allegorical, carrying deeper meanings about their understanding of the world. On the other hand, the extraterrestrial theory, while fascinating, often relies on selective interpretation of ancient texts and lacks concrete archaeological evidence. It's a theory that thrives in the realm of speculation rather than established fact. Lastly, the lost civilization theory, while plausible, also faces its own challenges. The archaeological record is sparse, and there's limited evidence to support the existence of a technologically advanced civilization that predates known history. The nature of the Anunnaki, whether they were gods, aliens, or remnants of a lost civilization, is shrouded in the mists of time. Each theory offers its own allure, its own tale of wonder and mystery. It's a puzzle that entices us to delve deeper into our past, to question our origins and our place in the cosmos. The nature of the Anunnaki is as enigmatic as their existence, yet their impact on history and culture is undeniable. Whether real or symbolic, the Anunnaki have left a lasting impact on our world. Let's examine their influence. The Anunnaki's influence is deeply rooted in mythology, religion, and culture. Their tales, passed down through generations, have shaped our understanding of the cosmos and our place within it. The stories we tell about these ancient beings speak to the universal themes of power, morality, and the human capacity for wonder. Their presence is felt in the art and literature of countless cultures. In the visual arts, they've inspired depictions of divine beings and celestial phenomena. Their narratives have been woven into epic poems, novels, and philosophical treatises, providing a rich source of material for artists and thinkers alike. The Anunnaki have also permeated popular culture. They've been the subject of films, television shows, and comic books. They've inspired music, video games, and even fashion trends. Their enduring appeal lies in their mystery, their power, and their otherworldliness. But the Anunnaki's impact goes beyond the cultural sphere. Scholars and researchers have devoted their lives to studying these enigmatic beings, attempting to separate fact from fiction, myth from reality. Their work has opened up new avenues of inquiry in fields as diverse as archaeology, theology, and astronomy. Expert opinions on the Anunnaki's significance vary widely, reflecting the complexity of the subject. Some believe the Anunnaki to be mere symbols, representations of natural forces or human desires. Others see them as evidence of advanced civilizations, perhaps even extraterrestrial life. Despite these divergent views, there's consensus on one point. The Anunnaki, in all their myriad forms, have profoundly shaped our collective imagination. The Anunnaki, real or not, have left an indelible mark on human civilization. They continue to fascinate us, inviting us to unravel their mysteries. So, who were the Anunnaki? The answer might be more complex than we imagine. In this journey, we've traveled through time and delved deep into the ancient Sumerian lore to unravel the enigma of the Anunnaki. We've weighed the evidence, pondered the theories, and grappled with the questions that have intrigued scholars for centuries. We started with the premise that the Anunnaki were deities in the Sumerian pantheon, beings of immense power and wisdom, central figures in a culture that flourished thousands of years ago. Ancient texts and archaeological findings provided tantalizing hints about their existence, suggesting they might have been more than mere religious symbols. Yet we also explored the skepticism surrounding their existence. Critics argue that the Anunnaki could be the product of myth and symbolism, important metaphors embedded in the Sumerian belief system, rather than actual entities. We then pondered the nature of these enigmatic entities. Were they gods, as the Sumerians believed? Or could they have been extraterrestrial beings, as suggested by some modern theorists? Or perhaps they were part of an ancient lost civilization, advanced beyond our understanding. Each theory, each hypothesis carries its own weight, its own set of arguments and counter-arguments, making the Anunnaki mystery all the more fascinating. Finally, we reflected on the lasting impact of the Anunnaki, how they've permeated popular culture, influenced literature, and fueled countless debates. Their story, whether based in reality or myth, continues to captivate us, reminding us of the allure of the unknown, of the mysteries that lie beyond our grasp. In the end, the true nature of the Anunnaki remains elusive, but perhaps that's part of their charm. They represent a puzzle, a riddle wrapped in an enigma, a challenge to our understanding of history, mythology, and our place in the universe. The mystery of the Anunnaki continues to intrigue us, a testament to the enduring allure of ancient myths and the quest to understand our past.